right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Newfane Selectboard meeting. It is Tuesday, January 21st, 6 p.m. Calling the meeting to order. We have on Zoom Selectboard member Jeff Chevalier and Ann Golob. At the table, we have Katie Johnson-Aplin and myself, Angela Litchfield. Our road foreman, Jay Wilson, is on Zoom, and Juanetta Powling is here, our administrative assistant.
Right, so
Has the meeting been properly warned?
Yes, it has.
Great. We'll start right in an approval of the minutes. We have January 6th, regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Ann. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Katie. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. January 6th, budget meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
I second the motion.
Oh, hold on. I just want to make sure I see that. Okay. So Ann and Katie again. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. January 10th, Board of Liquor Control meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Katie.
I second.
Thank you, Ann. Any discussion? Karen?
No, I'll just take that back. I was not at that meeting.
Oh, it says you are, but
I
you
was
weren't.
not.
So we need to, can you rescind your motion?
I rescind my motion.
I would like to make an amendment to the minutes that Katie Johnson-Aplin was not present. It was just me, Jeff, and Ann. Can I entertain a new motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Thank you.
As amended.
As amended. Jeff, second.
A second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstained?
Abstain.
Thank you. January 15th budget meeting minutes.
I make a motion.
Katie made the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. As usual, it's moving right along in a speedy process. Road foreman and road commissioners report. Good evening, Jay. Welcome.
We need to cut 4 trees for the NRCS project at the Green Iron Bridge before April 15th to avoid the bat and wood turtle regulations. Once the ice and snow melt on the riverbank, we can safely cut those. We looked at them the other day, and to try to climb down the bank would not be a good idea. Ann and I had a meeting with the engineer from MSK on the gravel pit, and we have a meeting scheduled for Friday with the engineer and Stephanie Giles from Act 250 for a pre-application chat. We're having a little trouble sourcing the white oak for the covered bridge deck. The access permit is fine on Browns Road that you've got. I think that's on the agenda.
Yep.
And would it be possible to have the sheriff's department spend some time at the Arch Bridge? We have a number of people that have been ignoring the stop signs on Grimes Hill and Dover Road and had a couple close calls there. So they're just, I don't know, people are just driving differently lately. And one thing I forgot to add on here is you had a letter from Carolyn Coda, who's from VTrans, I think she's their lead bridge person. And I worked with her quite a while on the Arch Bridge. So I called her about the letter, and you can kind of ignore it for now. It's just a preliminary thing to tell us that they were out of federal money. But she didn't realize also that there was a historic easement that they signed with us for after Irene to keep that bridge, and they took over the repairs of it. So she said that changes things too. So there's nothing at this point. It'll probably be another might be another year before we hear much else from them, but they will eventually start doing some work on it. So,
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the road foreman and commissioners report?
I make such a motion.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, discussion, and we'll start at number 1. Do we need to put that out to bid for the spring on who needs to cut, or do you have somebody in
No.
mind that's under the?
we'll just cut them. They're
you
nothing
guys
very
know?
big.
Okay, great. Anyone else on number 1?
Nope, hope we have a mild March.
Here's hoping. Number 2, okay, so you had a meeting with MSK on the gravel pit. Are we hoping that this is it and we can finally submit it?
Basically, he thought if we had this kind of meeting with Stephanie Giles, that it might help when they're finishing up the application to make sure they've got all the bases covered. And so we'll see how we make out with that.
Okay, great. My suggestion might be, since we are at January 21st, our next meeting's February, if possible, to send an update through via email just for informational purposes, just to let us know, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
Since we're all
You mean how
anxious. What's
You mean
that?
how the meeting goes on Friday?
Yeah, just for informational purposes, because I know we're all excited to see this get done.
Well, Jay made it clear that our goal is to have the application in by town meeting day, so that's what we're shooting for.
Here's hoping. Sourcing white oak for the cover.
I'm sorry, can I say one more thing? The only thing that is holding us up really at this point is a state permit where they have changed their rules and they haven't decided if they're going to allow people to apply for the permit under the old or the new rules. So they're holding all the applications at the moment. So we're sort of stuck in a catch-22 right now,
That's so
So-
exhausting.
really. So we may go, that's really, I think, one of the questions that we will figure out with Stephanie, whether to wait for that or should we just go forward?
Right, that makes sense. All right, number 3, traveling, sourcing white oak. I'm sorry?
One more thing on that. I think he also said that those new regulations have been tied up in court since they were introduced years ago, right?
More than 10 years ago, but they
10
think
years, yeah.
they have, but they were accepting applications under the old rules since the new ones were contested, but they think they finally have the new rules worked out. So they don't want to accept anyone under the old rules. They want to wait for the new rules, but they don't have a date for the new rules.
Yay.
As only the state government can do it.
Oh, I
Seriously.
love government processes. It's so much fun. Okay. Where are you sourcing white oak
Yeah,
from?
could you elaborate on that, Jay?
Alec and Mike Root from Renault Brothers have been calling all the different mills and lumber yards. Longview has a yard where they buy in logs from the loggers and so forth. So they've been trying to find a good source for some white oak. They had one price and it was ridiculous. So they're working on just finding us a source for it, and then we can have it sawed and stickered. And then they want to plane one side before they put it down, so they're all perfectly even.
Okay.
And then I told them once we could buy the lumber, and then once we did that, then we'd put the actual installation out to bid, and they understood that. So
There's several local people that mill wood.
well, white oak doesn't grow right here.
What's that?
White oak doesn't grow here, so it has to come from Connecticut River Valley down into Massachusetts, so forth. So
Oh, okay, well, keep us updated on that.
sure.
Let's discuss the application for Browns Road. Can you elaborate on that for us, please?
So it's an existing field access that's been there for years, and it goes away from the road, so there's no need for a culvert, and it looked fine.
That's Pat's old place.
Yes, it's the access on the south side of it that goes down into that field.
where the old lumber, or the old, wooded, or, I can't,
Remember where they cleared that field out?
yeah,
Goes down into there.
and you see no problems with putting in an access road?
Nope.
Great. Are there any requirements?
Nothing. No, it's it slopes away from the road, and so there's no need for a culvert.
There. I think it was Old Logger Road is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Would anybody entertain a motion to approve the access?
I make a motion to approve the access permit as it reads.
Second?
Second. Got it.
Thank you, Ian. Katie, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Okay, number 5, if it's okay with the board, I will personally contact the sheriff tomorrow and talk to him about the coverage in Newfane and ask him to put the person who is covering specifically at that spot, if that's okay with the board.
That'd be great.
It just seems like they're not even making the attempt to slow down and look. They're just going through, and it's been. I know our trucks have had several people kind of pull right in front of them when they're coming out of the bridge. So
I had that issue last time I took rescue over to the town garage.
I got passed at that stop sign myself today. I was stopped with a car behind me, passed me, and went straight on Grimes Hill.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if it's okay with the board, I will personally contact the sheriff and talk to him about where they're sitting, because I know lately the only place I see them is in the village of Newfane
We
on Route 30.
desperately need them on
And I
Dover
will
Road.
express that we need them on Dover Road and we need them at the Arch Bridge, and there's plenty of places for them to sit and take note. So I will do that tomorrow. Are there any other spots you want them to be other than Dover Road?
Right by the three-way stop sign at Auger Hole and Dover Road would be great, because that'll catch people being naughty there too.
Oh yeah, considering the building's not there anymore, that you don't really have to
All
walk.
3 directions are now wide open.
So Arch Bridge, Auger Hole Road, any other places you want me to mention?
No, but related to that, I wonder if we actually need an always stop sign still there, do we? Now that visibility is so clear?
Well, I think it's important when you're coming off of Dover Road and turning either left or right. I think that's the part where it's important.
Okay.
Not that people really pay attention to them like they do at the Arch Bridge. They just do whatever they want.
I
Right.
think when they originally did that, the hopes were that it would slow people down going through
I see.
that section of South Newfane.
So it's sort of a traffic calming
Sort of.
idea.
I mean, someone passed me in front of your house this evening, Anne, on my way to the meeting.
Oh, nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
All right, I will make that call tomorrow. And I will report back on what he says. Any, letter from Carol and Coda Bridges, any comments on that?
That seems pretty straightforward. Jay, could you say the piece about the easement again, just?
So after Irene, then that bridge had the damage. The options were to get rid of it, or the state's idea was if they signed a historic easement for it, they would take over the expense of repairing or replacing.
Okay.
And I would dare say this probably is the 6th time I've had to send that easement to them. They don't seem to remember it. And it's just very convenient. Nobody seems to know about it, but you get it, and then once they get it, they don't say anything for a while, and then eventually somebody else contacts you and they know nothing about it. So it's interesting, but at least as long as we have a copy, it should be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else for Jay for the road foreman and commissioners report? If not, all those in favor to approve, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Thank you, and you guys do a great job, and please let the crew know that they do a great job as well.
Thank you.
Angela, could I bring something up?
Of course.
I don't think we talked about additions to or else I missed it, additions to the agenda. And there are two items I wanted to make sure that we discussed. One was the voter-backed petitions that we received.
We'll put that under, Juanetta says she's got that in her, she's gonna bring that up in her administrative assistance report.
And then the ethics training class
Great.
from the state.
We'll put that under new business.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing, I'm sorry I overlooked that. Okay. Good evening, Juanetta. Time for the administrative assistance report.
The team has diligently managed office operations without some staff to ensure smooth functionality and continuity. The key highlights in our activities include office coverage. Daily office tasks have been handled promptly, including answering phone calls, assisting visitors coming in to make tax payments, or picking up zoning applications for new construction. Some questions I've been unable to answer require a follow-up message and a phone number for prompt reply from another staff member. Routine administrative responsibilities have been effectively maintained. Town report compilation. Significant progress has been made in pulling together all edits and pages for the upcoming town report. Coordination of various departments to collect and organize their contributions have been a priority. Final proofreading and laying out checks will be underway to ensure a polished and accurate publication. I have worked collaboratively to uphold operations standards during this period, ensuring that immediate needs and long-term projects such as the town report remain on track. The ethics committee training that you asked me to respond to, I've been creating a folder. Anybody that is hired after or is elected after January will have 120 days to complete the training. Anybody prior to that date has until September to complete the training, and then it's good for 3 years. And I do have 2 voter-backed petitions from Carol Hasselback. One has received the required number of signatures, and the other one only has 21 verified registered voter signatures. This would need to be considered tonight in order to go in the draft for the warning for the town report's publications. Do you want me to read them, or do you want to discuss?
How many signatures do you need to have?
I believe the minimum was 87.
Well, then my personal opinion is that if it doesn't have the required amount of signatures from the town, it doesn't need to be considered, correct? Anyone else?
I would agree. Carol did say that we have the option to consider it if we want. I would be in favor of not considering it and not including it.
All right, we'll do those under discussion.
Okay.
Great. Is there a motion to approve the administrative assistance report?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jeff. Second?
I make a motion.
Jeff made the motion.
I second the motion.
Katie seconded.
Sorry, I'm reading and
All right, discussion. I know people have been out and I appreciate the office all taking on extra roles and such to make sure everybody is taken care of for the town. It's greatly appreciated. Anyone else have anything on office coverage?
Is there more than one person out? I'm only aware of our treasurer being out.
Our treasurer's out. I'm not sure who else was out.
Carol was out a few days, plus she's had some appointments.
Okay.
We're town report compilation. Everything's going smoothly.
Everything's going smoothly. I'm getting to the point where collating after the edits were done, and then I'll have to take and still number the pages individually through the program and make sure that the index matches up the pages. So,
Great. If you need a second set of eyes at any point,
yeah.
I'm available this weekend to overlook anything that if you need to read through.
Okay.
How did the cover come out?
There's a copy. And I saw a picture. While we're getting that, I'm gonna read the voter back petitions. The first one we have is dated January 16th, petition for article to town meeting warning. Attached are petitions signed by 96 registered voters in Newfane for the inclusion of an article on the town meeting day warning. This is over the required number of signatures for the warning to be added.
So I only have the one that has 13.
I think she just didn't give us all the pages.
Yeah, I didn't. Now you should have 2 pages. One's got a backside, and the other one I only gave you one set of the copies of
All I have
signatures.
is this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna read this one that I just announced, which has a lot of signatures. Petition of legal voters of the town of Newfane to the select board. We, the undersigned registered voters of the town of Newfane, Vermont, hereby petition the select board to add the following advisory article to the warning for March 4th, 2025 town meeting in Newfane. Shall the voters of the town of Newfane adopt the following pledge and instruct the town clerk to convey this message to the select board, state legislature, governor, and lieutenant governor, and the U.S. congressional delegation. We affirm our commitment to freedom, justice, and equality for the Palestinian people and all the people, and we oppose all forms of racism, bigotry, discrimination, and oppression, and we declare ourselves to be an apartheid-free community, and to that end, we pledge to join others in working to end all support to Israel's apartheid policies, settler colonialism, and military occupation and aggression. So I believe what we learned from last year is the select board has the right to agree to put that on our articles or deny it.
Agreed.
What's that?
I said agreed.
Yeah. So I entertain a motion either way from anyone, whether we want to put that as an article or not.
I would make a motion to deny it on the basis of the fact that our town meeting is focused on town related issues, that this is an item, while I absolutely agree with the concerns and many of the sentiments. I don't think the town meeting is the best place for this discussion to unfold. And I would rather maintain the town meeting for town-related business.
Is there a second? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. So I would be opposed to putting it on the warning on the articles. However, I'm also quite clear that the people who support this can bring it up at town meeting when other issues are brought up. So
Yes.
no one's really being stifled at all from getting their say. It's really just a question of whether or not the select board is choosing to give it a place on the articles.
Is there a second to Ann's motion?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Oppose, abstain, ayes have it. All right, the second one we have to the Newfane Select Board. Oh. From Carol Hasselbeck, Newfane Town Clerk, January 16th, petition for article to town meeting warning. Attached are petitions signed by 23 registered voters in Newfane for inclusion of an article to the town meeting day warning. This is under the required number of signatures for the warning to be added, but you can still consider adding it. We, the undersigned legal voters of Newfane, hereby petition the Select Board of the Town of Newfane, Vermont, to place the following articles on the warning for the annual town meeting to be held on the 4th day of March, 2025. This petition is filed pursuant to 10 VSA Section 551-586, 10 VSA Section 1250 through 1284, 17 VSA Section 2630 through 2682. We certify that we are presently voters of that town. The Articles 1 and 2 to be placed on the warning to read. Article 1. Shall the Newfane Select Board request the Vermont Governor and Legislature commit to and sign into law the following, quote, environmental preservation, as enacted, prohibits the intentional injection, release or dispersion by any means of chemicals, chemical compounds, substances or apparatus within the borders of the state into the atmosphere with the express purpose of affecting temperature, weather, or the intensity of the sunlight, end quote. That's Article 1. Article 2 reads, shall the Newfane Select Board request the Agency of Natural Resources, Department of Environmental Conservation, Drinking Water and Groundwater Protection Division to modify the Environmental Protection Chapter 21 Water Supply Rule as follows, quote, under 6.8 inorganic chemical monitoring requirements, add a new section, quote, 6.8.2, all community public water system suppliers shall make yearly monitoring results available to their Vermont citizens for the following. Table 6-1, Contaminant Standards, Section 3, Primary Inorganic Chemicals, barium, greater than 2 milligrams per liter, mercury greater than 0.002 milligrams per liter, Section 8, radionuclides, sorry for my pronunciation, strontium, minus 90, greater than 8 pci-liters, 6.13 secondary standards, table 6-3 secondary contaminant standards, aluminum, greater than 0.2 milligrams per liter. What say all of you? And this does not have the required amount of voters.
My feeling is the same as the previous, that this does not relate to Newfane business, these particular, at least the first item I looked up, and that is a bill that was proposed and passed in Tennessee, but I am unaware of any other state that has taken it up. It is not a proposal that exists to start actually streaming chemicals out of airplanes in order to affect climate change. And since it both doesn't have the required signatures and it does not pertain to Newfane business, I would vote no.
Is that your motion?
Sorry, that is a motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I would second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Great. The photo came out beautiful, let's go back to that. I don't know if anyone can see it that close.
Very nice.
Oh, it does look beautiful, really. And we got,
Colors,
we told the photographer.
will we talk to Reed?
Yeah.
We have. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, anything else for the administrative assistance report? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Committee reports, I see that, I saw the, there she is. Kate Gehring. Hi Kate, welcome. Do you have an update for anyone? For us? Anyone? Hi Kate.
Hi there.
Do you have a report or are you just here to visit?
I'm here to visit, but I can give you a short update that we are waiting for the updated bylaw amendments from the WRC, and that at this Thursday's meeting, Matt Backler from the Wyndham Regional Commission will be joining to talk about the town plan. So if you have time and interest, it would be great if you'd like to join us or have any interest in participating in that process. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. We appreciate you being here as always. Are there any questions for Kate?
Could you repeat the man's name one more time?
Sure. Matt Backler, Bachler, from the Wyndham Regional Commission, will be joining the Planning Commission's regular meeting this Thursday to talk about the contents of the town plan and the process for collecting input and information and drafting our updated plan.
Wonderful. Any other questions for Kate? I just want to ask if you could send the select board out the Zoom link for your meeting, and whoever can attend, that would be fantastic.
It's already an agenda, I'll post it on the website.
I'm just asking because some of us
I
are
have it on my desk.
so busy that we.
I'll get it to you as well. Juanetta, I appreciate it. I hear your voice in the agenda. I think, like you, Angela, for me, the more reminders, the better. So I'm happy to send another one, and I'll get it.
Thank you, Juanetta.
I have copies.
Thank you, and thanks, Juanetta, for handling the agenda. We appreciate it as always.
You're welcome.
All right, if there's nothing else for Kate, I'm gonna invite Peter Putnam to talk about. I'm gonna call it the buildings committee for the town hall, because he does such a wonderful job trying to stay up and on top of all of the issues that are here. And we do have a building committee, so.
We do?
We do, don't we?
So anyways, the water filtration system that we need here.
No, we haven't
We're
got
out of set.
I'm doing committee reports. But the building committee is, and I would consider this part of the building committee since he's trying to maintain,
We'll go with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, Peter.
We're out of bid proposals for the water filtration system that we need here, and we got back nothing.
Wow.
No one is interested. They didn't bother. It sounds like they've been down this road before, and everyone ended up going with Cushing water wells for one reason or another. So that's where it's at right now. But with Cushing,
I gave them pictures.
yeah, with Cushing, they're also going to replace some parts here.
Does everybody have that? It was sent as a later
Yes.
attachment today.
Yes.
They're gonna replace these parts also, and they're price, and they're also going to chlorinate the hot water heater that we have. We got a price on replacing that. It was $3,000 to replace the water heater. 40 gallon with a 20 gallon for $3,000. But they think that they might be able to recover it by chlorinating it.
Great.
So right now, that's where it's at. Cushing.
And what's the price tag with Cushing's?
It was $4,000.
And we still have money in the buildings project, so do we know what that figure is?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. We do have a new sink and cabinet in the men's room that's been waiting to get installed, and it's all pending the repairs that Peter has scheduled, so one project is on hold because of that.
There's one shut off out in the furnace room, water shut off, and I don't dare to touch it because if I shut the water off, it might start leaking and I won't be able to stop it from leaking.
Okay.
So I don't want to touch it. So
That
that's why
makes sense.
everything's on hold. Everything is hinging on.
Cushing's.
It's
Yeah.
fair.
Okay, so, since it's been put out to bid and we only have one company,
We could ask somebody, from Brattleboro, but they're probably gonna charge for mileage to drive up here. And it might not be just up and back. If they get here and they need a part that they don't have, they might have to drive to Brattleboro a second time, so they're probably gonna price that in.
but if
So-
we have already put it out to bid and there's nobody but Cushing's,
No.
And that's how I am.
entertain a motion to go
Sure.
forward with Cushing's to do the repairs?
There's 6 people up the road here that in a row, property owners in a row, that went with Cushing for some reason. So,
I would make a motion to accept Cushing's bid for $4,000 to complete this work, to move on to the next thing. It sounds like we've tried
Yeah.
and had no results.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any further
Just-
discussion?
Just to be clear, this $4,000 is paying for a water filtration system, the chlorination of the existing hot water heater, and the replacement of the parts shown in the photo.
correct.
Okay. This is what is it, like a saltwater filtration system or
What water?
Salt.
salt?
Yeah,
Salt.
he meant, yeah, something about salt. I don't know much about
Got
it. Yeah, he mentions you have to add salt periodically.
Yep. Yeah, it'll handle the mineral content in the water.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, abstained, ayes have it. Go forth, Peter. Call Cushing, tell him to come in and help you out. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate all that you do to keep this building up and going. And moving right along, I'd like to welcome Sarah Lemnah from the American Red Cross to present their special appropriations request for the town, for the ballot. Sorry.
Well, thank you so much for having me tonight. I am the Executive Director of the American Red Cross of Vermont, and we are requesting support in the amount of $500. I think a lot of people probably aren't aware of the broad breadth of services the Red Cross does. I've been here 15 months and I'm still learning things that we're doing. So one of the most visible programs, of course, is our blood collection and distribution. We do 1,100 drives around the state each year, 55 in Windham County alone. Raising 1,500 pints just in Windham County. Our biggest disaster program that we respond to is our home fire campaign. Unfortunately, Vermont has seen a lot of fatal fires in the start of this year. Thankfully, none in Windham County that I'm aware of, but there have been 4 fatal fires this year. One was a mother and a newborn child. So we're really committed to making sure that everybody has a working smoke alarm. Last year, we installed 400 free working smoke alarms, which increases your chance of survival by 50%. As somebody who's lived through a home fire, I know how devastating that can be. We've supported 3 families in Windham County receiving those smoke alarms, but we obviously want to have many more. We've supported 18 families in Windham County that have experienced home fires. That's 30 individuals. None in Newfane, but that can change day to day. We hope it doesn't. But you never know when a fire is going to pop up. We've responded to 465 disasters in the state of Vermont. I think we've all been familiar with the floods and the fires that have happened. It's been an unprecedented couple of years, but we've supported nearly 1,000 Vermonters weathering those disasters. Another one of our programs is our service to the military. I think a lot of people, we all learned it in elementary school, but we've all probably forgotten that the Red Cross was founded on the battlefields of the Civil War. So our services to our military families is really important. We served 500 military members in the state of Vermont. 19 lived in Windham County. Some of those programs are resiliency workshops to deal with like PTSD, but some of them are, financial aid. We have a lot of veterans who are in dire need, and through our Heroes Action, we can actually support some of those families. And then, of course, our oldest program is communication. If anybody has military members, you'll know if there's a death in the family or something that you have to alert a deployed soldier, it is the Red Cross that actually connects and gets those messages so people can come back home. Also trainings, we've trained nearly 500 Vermonters in CPR, first aid, water safety, and babysitting in the last year. 270 of those lived in Windham County, and 17 volunteers live in Windham County currently. 90% of the American Red Cross's workforce is volunteers. We're very volunteer driven, so we rely on our well-trained volunteers. You never know when a disaster is going to strike and where the need is, and we're committed to making sure that every community in the state is supported. We receive no federal or state funding. We rely on our donors and our towns to help supplement the needs so we can continue our services, and we are asking for your consideration of supporting the American Red Cross. And if you have any questions, obviously, please let me know.
Great, thank you so much, Sarah. Are there any questions?
No, but just to thank you for all the varied things you do.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments?
No.
Well, we would like to thank you for being here, and we do really appreciate the work that your organization does. It's so important, and it helps to take care of folks that are in need.
Thank you so much.
And we will make sure this gets put on our ball.
Great. Thank you. And
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful
Take care.
evening.
Stay warm. Moving right along, we have no unscheduled members of the public? New business, Anne, you can talk about the Essex training class. Yours.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to quickly say that I decided to take the training because I was curious what it was all about. It really was pretty darn easy. It was about an hour of listening to a video, and then you take an online exam, and they ask you just a couple of questions based on the presentation, and then you get your certificate assuming you pass. So it was really pretty easygoing. They did say in the presentation, this is why I'm bringing it up, that it is a requirement for your town to post your ethics rules or guidelines, rules, whatever, on your town website. And I did not remember if we had ethics guidelines. If you do not, you are supposed to post the state mandated guidelines, which are, pretty straightforward stuff. A town can expand on the state guidelines or state requirements, but a town cannot override any of the state requirements. So the state could say, you can't take any gifts over $25, let's say, and the town could decide, no, we're putting the limit at 15. So you could do something like that, but you couldn't raise it to make it a higher amount. So my question is, do we have an ethics document?
I don't believe so. We do?
There are some paragraphs in our personnel policy that include things like monetary gifts.
Is that the new policy or the old one?
Current.
The current one, okay.
Okay, so I think then we should just plan to put that on our website, Katie, as we're assembling everything,
Sure.
along with probably a copy of the state guidelines, and I'll try to find that online.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because ours are mixed in with all the rest of our requirements.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not, it's not a separate document.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Any questions for Ann? If not, we'll move on to new business. Are we on new business? That's it. Old business, follow-up items. Review town meeting warnings and articles. How did that go with all of the people who attended?
May I make a quick request?
Yes.
Kate Gehring is here on the phone. She needs to leave.
Oh, should we move the housing?
She wants to talk about housing, so I wondered if
We
you
can
would.
do that first, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Go for it.
Kate, you there?
I'm gonna let you, I'm gonna step away from the table for a quick second and you can take over the discussion, Ann.
Sure. Hi, Kate. Did you want to start?
Go ahead. I just am here for
So
backup.
as we mentioned at the last select board meeting, we want to send out a press release telling people about the housing policy. Many of us have tried to get our lawyer to respond, to just read the document and give us any feedback that he might have. None of us have succeeded at this point in getting him to respond, not Angela, not Kate, not myself, even have Melissa try for me. So I think at this point, I think I would propose that it is fine to go ahead and send out this press release to let people know about the program. Should our lawyer then have changes, we can always roll that in and amend the document. But it's kind of pretty straightforward stuff, I believe. So I'm not anticipating that he would have any kind of feedback, except perhaps for how we set up some of the documentation for the program. So that would be great if he handed me that feedback. Sleepy child. And I put together a press release. Kate and I worked on it together. Angela has reviewed it. So I don't know if you want me to read it, which I'm happy to do, or if everyone had a chance to take a look at it. What I am asking for is a approval to go ahead and send out the press release in the hope that the media might pick it up. We had originally said that we would have this on the select board meeting for the February 3rd meeting. However, I will be out of the country on February 3rd. A work conference came up that I need to go to. So I will not be back until the meeting on the 18th. So I wanted to put it off until the 18th. So that is my request. Would you like me to read the press release, or have people had a chance to look at it? What say you?
I haven't received it, so I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Sorry. Newfane announces new grant program to support building long-term rental housing. The town of Newfane announces a new housing grant program to support the creation of long-term rental housing in the town. Owners of eligible apartment or housing units can receive $2,000 to $5,000 per year for up to 3 years. The program offers a cash incentive to Newfane property owners who create new housing units, whether by building new accessory dwelling units or houses, renovating or subdividing existing homes, or by returning properties to use as long-term rentals from private use or short-term rentals. The amount of the annual award is based on the size of the unit created. The program is funded with $150,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA. Newfane Select Board Chair Angela Litchfield explained, "We designed this program in the belief that it would be the fastest way to create potentially 10 or more new units within the shortest period of time. We heard Newfane residents loud and clear when they said that they wanted their ARPA funds used to address housing." End quote. Newfane is a small town with no public wastewater system and no town-owned properties that could be developed, So we had to come up with a different approach. Planning Commission Chair Kate Gehring said, quote, "After considering several options, we determined that this would be a great way to support local property owners who want to create new housing. This program invests in our community. It will be administered using resources and personnel that are already in place. We are reinvesting in what's already here. Committed property owners with great buildings and properties," end quote. The grant program will be accompanied by a series of information sessions that will be open to the public and will cover such topics as how to select a tenant and write a lease, funding renovations and construction, as well as working with contractors, how does eviction work and how to protect yourself, state law requirements for rental housing, septic capacity and water, taxes. Newfane residents can find more information about the program on the Newfane Town website or by contacting the administrative assistant for a copy of the program's guidelines. The program will be on the Select Board's agenda on the February 18, 2025 meeting, and residents are encouraged to attend to address any questions they may have. So that's the first page. And then the second page is just a summary of the program details.
I read it, I thought it was great.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It sounds good. I'm sorry, we just don't have it in front of us. I did read it when it came in, but
You have such an eloquent way of writing.
Oh. Well, I had to say Kate edited this and worked with me quite closely, so it's definitely a team effort.
Great job, both of you.
If it's okay with everyone, I will be out of town until February 4th. I would send it out to the media on the week of February 4th, hoping that we might get some coverage the following week, and that we could then put it on our agenda for the February
18.
18th meeting, right? Because the 17th we're going to move because of the holiday, right? I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So would that be all right with everybody?
I'm all for it.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Sounds good.
You're good, Jeff?
Sounds good. Yep.
You're good
Great.
with
I
that?
am good with that, but I think we need to officially move that.
We'll do that after we get done with this. So February 19th.
Angela, say it again.
February 19th.
18.
Holiday.
18th is a Tuesday.
Oh, sorry. You're right, 18th, sorry.
Angela, should you run into our lawyer, if you would ask him again?
Yes, I will stay on it on
Thank
a
you.
weekly basis.
I don't know why he won't just respond. I'm perplexed. That's it. Hey, Kate, did you want to add anything?
No, that was great. Thanks, Anne. And you do deserve credit for so well done.
Great, wonderful, thank you both so much.
Great.
I think we should just put the review of the town meeting warning and articles at the last. We can get through these other bits pretty quickly, and then we'll just spend some time on that so that we know that we are on point.
Okay.
So we've done number 2, housing. Is there anything else at the South Newfane General Store and FEMA?
Yes, hold on one second. I just want to read you the current status. Give me half a second just to pull it up because
If you're leaving, Kate, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you and your group for all your hard work.
Thanks. And our thanks to you all. Take good care.
You too.
Yeah. Okay, here's the current status. I wrote this all down because I didn't want to misrepresent anything because God knows it gets complicated. So we've been waiting to get the report from the Brownfield remediation team, a company called CAS. They did their sampling in September and then did the testing of their samples, and we finally got the report back in the second week of January. We were originally supposed to have gotten it in November, but whatever. They found some very low indication of contaminants in the soil and recommended to do more sampling to know exactly how much there is and how it should be addressed. So what the process is, because this is all brownfield remediation, they take their study, and once we've reviewed it, which Jay and I did, then it is submitted to the state for review. So the state now has the report and we are waiting for them to review it. There are two options of what they may say based on what this testing found. On the one hand, they could say that the levels are found are low enough that in their opinion, no further testing is required, and they give us an exemption and we are done. Or they could say, nah, we think it's a good idea, do more testing. If we have to do more testing, this is the process that would happen. The state would say, do more testing. CAS would then put together what's called a corrective action plan. The state would review it, and then the testing would be carried out. This is typically a 3 to 4 month process. Once that testing was completed, then we would find out whether or not we actually have cleanup work to do. If the second set of testing says, you should do some cleanup, then we will have to apply to the Wyndham Regional Commission for some of their brownfield remediation funds, which they have. And they know that this is a possibility, we might need it. Their funds are typically given as 80% grant and 20% loan. So if this were to come to pass, then the town would have a small portion to pay for the cleanup activities at the site. But at the moment, we're waiting to see what the state says about the initial testing that was done on the samples in September. We wait to see what they say if we have to do second testing. And then if we do second testing, what that shows. And then we apply for the funds if we need to do a cleanup, and then we do the cleanup. So we're talking, they said 3 to 4 months until, if the state tells us we need to do more testing, they think we would probably know from the state in about 1 month. And then it would be about 3 to 4 months to put together a corrective action plan. The state would review it and the testing would be carried out. How long it would take to get the results back and a proposal on what we need to do for the actual cleanup. I imagine that's a couple of months. And then we would apply for the funds to do the cleanup if we need to do one. I know this is kind of makes your head spin. So if the new select board would like me to stay on top of this project and report to them on progress, I am happy to do that because having learned all of this stuff, I don't wish it on anybody. So
As the turning it over now is kind of that's an involved process.
yeah. So that's where that is.
Thank you for all of that information. So we're just waiting.
Yes, we are waiting. Next step is to hear from the state.
Well, here's hoping it's not anything too bad.
Yes.
Any questions for Ann?
Well, the initial testing definitely shows it's not too bad because it's definitely a possibility that the state would say we don't even need to do more testing. So the levels are very low.
Do you have those parts? I don't know if it's parts per millions or how it is, but do you have those numbers to look at, those figures?
They are undoubtedly in the report. They mean absolutely nothing to me as a complete non-expert. I can at least tell you what the items are. The items are.
Will you share?
You want a copy of the report?
That'd
Yes,
be great.
please.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't need to hear all the details per se, but I want to sit with it.
I'll tell you, the report is really hard to understand. I had to get them on the phone and talk me through it.
We could all use some reading. We could all use some reading.
Light reading.
All right, if there's nothing else on that, we'll move to the personnel policy. I'm assuming you still need to hear from the lawyer.
Yes.
I will do that. Any update on the town website design?
We had a great meeting this afternoon with Katie to go over final revisions and tweaks and put together a list of the things that Ann and I need to tackle to get it all settled. And we are excited. We're getting close now. It feels good.
I sent out an
We have
email.
Under wraps.
We have a request from everyone on the select board to write a brief 2 to 5 sentences about themselves as a bio in the third person, please. So
Are you going to do that with the current select board, or are you waiting for the new select board since we're almost to town meeting?
to get it started, just for data and placeholding as we're assembling it, it would be great if you could come up with something for yourselves.
When do you want that by? This is the first time hearing of it. So.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
How about by our next meeting?
Great.
And emails are fine. And then, Angela, I just wanted to remind.
Village.
Yes, please.
Yes, I just
Parts
remembered,
necessary.
sorry. Village info.
And do you have any other summary statements?
Just that I sent out an email after our last meeting with links to the design for the website. I don't know if people had a chance to look at it. If you did,
I did. It looks great. Everything looks great.
Great, I'm glad
It's a
you
really
liked it.
nice design. It flows well. Everything seems very self-explanatory.
oh, great.
It's nice. It's refreshing.
Does the contrast look good to you? Or is it too much?
It looked good to me.
Great.
Excellent. All right. Now let's go to the big conversation of our articles, which it doesn't seem like much we won't need to add or subtract, since these were not voted on and the American Red Cross showed up and we put them in anyway in anticipation for their appearance. So we will start with the Article 1. Are we all okay with that? That is pretty much self-explanatory all the time. In looking at punctuation, boldness, underlining what we talked about at the last budget meeting, what we wanted to see for changes, I'm just going to read through them. If you see anything while we read through them, please yell out. Don't raise your hand, just holler that there's an issue. So we'll start with Article 2. Shall the voters of the town of Newfane pay taxes for the ensuing year on a quarterly basis due on the 15th of August, October, January, and April, late charge for interest being at the rate of 0.50% per month for the current fiscal year and 0.75% per month for each month thereafter until paid.
I think the numbers need to be bolded, the percents.
Does everyone agree? Bold the numbers?
I don't think so for that one.
No?
Because you got the dollars later. Really, I
And
think the
it's
dollars
the same that it's been for,
ever. Yeah.
so that one we'll just leave as is.
Okay.
Article 3, shall the voters of the town of Newfane authorize the select board to sell or otherwise convey property acquired through tax sale proceedings? Good?
Yes.
Article 4, shall the voters of the town of Newfane authorize general fund expenditures for town and highway operating expenses of $1,895,813, of which, should there be a comma there?
No.
No? Okay. $1,421,998 shall be raised by taxes and $348,815 by non-tax revenues and $125,000 by surplus funds. Good?
Yep.
Mhm.
So are you saying I should take out the comma after?
No,
Okay,
just leave it the way it is.
okay.
Article 5, shall the voters of the town of Newfane authorize capital fund expenditures of $467,000, of which $413,500 shall be raised by taxes and $12,000 by non-tax revenues and $41,500 by general fund surplus. Good?
Yes.
Article 6, Shall the voters of the town of Newfane authorize debt service fund expenditures of $51,950, of which $44,173 shall be raised by taxes and $7,777 by debt service surplus? Good?
But that makes me ask where Article 4's surplus funds are coming from, because the other two are listed.
You know what, I'm pretty sure this is the format that we've done always. We could bring that up as a question for Melissa to be
Yep.
prepared to answer, but since she's on vacation,
These are all the figures that were talked about.
No, not the figures, just the wording, just the source. By general fund surplus, by debt service surplus. The only one that doesn't have that is Article 4.
right, but we just don't
Just
have.
by surplus funds.
And it's lowercase while the others are capitalized.
I think it's fine for the surplus funds to be lowercase because it's being a general, not a specific. And, we don't have Melissa to tell us what surplus funds they are, so I think that's something she could answer at the actual town meeting.
Right. Great. Article 7, shall the voters of the town of Newfane raise by taxation the amount of $25,467 for the annual excavator lease payment for fiscal year 2026? And Article 8, shall the voters of the town of Newfane raise by taxation the amount of $6,750 for the reappraisal reserve fund fiscal year 2026? That's good. Correct?
Yes.
Shall the voters of the town of Newfane vote to eliminate the office of constable pursuant to 17 BSA 2651 AD? It needs to say, I would say Title 17 BSA and then the section symbol 2651. Just to have the proper terminology for the statute. I think, yeah, I meant to show you last time and I forgot. So
I actually looked it up.
you found it? Okay, good. So yeah, if you just put Title 17 VSA and then the section symbol 2651 AD, that's perfect. And then one edit did include in our packet the write-up for why the select board has added an article to eliminate the role of town constable. So that will be put somewhere at the end, maybe,
I would.
of the articles.
Yeah.
But separate from it, yeah.
And then if somebody questions it while we're at town meeting, I can read this out loud if need be.
Correct.
Great. Do we need to go over all of the appropriations or do we, I went through them and I feel confident that they are correct.
The numbers look right. Article 35, 36, 37, 38 have an extra space with an underline.
Oh, after the poll, yeah, you see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll fix that. Is there anything else anyone sees, needs changed, has questions of before Juanetta does one final tweak and emails it out to all of us for another glance? All of the above? Nothing?
Well, not gonna approve it today. The only reason I asked is because I'm going out of the country, so I won't be able to sign it. I guess
I
maybe-
feel confident that we could approve it with the changes that need to be made, and I will work with Juanetta to make sure those get done.
Okay, because then what I would do is I just put my name in electronically on the on the last page. I would send that to you now so that you could use this copy.
Yeah,
to-
that's its own page anyway, so if you want to do that and then send it and we can all sign it here,
Okay, I would do that.
that'd be
right
great. So, is there a motion to approve the articles as amended version coming on Article 9, 36, 37, 38 for minor adjustments? Is there a motion to approve the articles for town meeting?
I make such a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Katie, you're thinking, I can tell. Anything else? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, ayes have it. I will definitely make sure that I go over it really well with these corrections that we made, which is Article 9, to add title and section, and to take out the underlined space in 36, 37, and 38. Okay?
Great, and I just sent you my signed copy.
And Juanetta can print that, and Katie and I can sign it. Jeff, if you could stop in and sign it this week, that'd be great.
Will do.
Do we have any correspondence?
We have a thank you for More Free Library. There has been no other correspondence regarding the South Newfane store signs.
Oh, that was today too. So we'll discuss that in just a moment. December 31st, 2024, Town of Newfane. Dear Select Board and voters, as we wrap up 2024, we are grateful for your support. On behalf of the Library Board, we would like to thank you for your generous October 22nd appropriation of $2,700, as voted at the March 2024 town meeting. It is continued support from friends like the Town of Newfane that allows us to achieve our mission to offer the latest best-selling books, DVDs, programs for all ages, interlibrary loans, ebooks, audiobooks, and internet access. With part this appropriation, we were able to install seamless gutters over our front steps and other areas. The gutters prevent ice and snow drip from getting onto the front steps. With your support, we continue to serve the people of Newfane and Brookline as an independent library. Stop by to see Beckley and her wonderful volunteers to get a book, use our upgraded Wi-Fi, or view the feature artists in the Coral Gallery. Again, we thank you for your appropriation. Sincerely, thanks so much, Marie Tattersall, More Free Library Board of Trustees Treasurer. That's so nice. And we did make tonight the deadline for anybody that was interested in any of the South Newfane General Store signs to make their personal requests or association requests. And the only one we received was Dick Merrick from the Historical Society of Wickham County. So do we want to make a motion that the Historical Society receives, or do we want to extend such request?
Wait, the letter from the South Newfane Community Association is a request.
Do we have that?
I don't recall getting one, Anne.
Yes, I know that it was sent to you from Maya Segura. Hold on, let me see if I have a copy of it. Didn't she just hand you something from South Newfane? Yeah, she sent it to you on January 15th. I can read it to you.
Yes, please read to us.
Dear, I don't know why she put it to Windham County Historical Society, but for some reason she did, and Town of Newfane Select Board members. We are writing in response to the request for a permanent home of the South Newfane General Store signage. The original store was built at the heart of our village in 1825 and rebuilt in 1889 after the fire destroyed the original structure. In the intervening years, in 1860, the South Newfane Schoolhouse was built and stood as the store's neighboring sibling until the store came down last month. We imagine that for the 100 years of the school's enrollment, children looked longingly out the window at the store, dreaming of popping in for chocolate or a lollipop while checking on their family's mail after school. In other words, these buildings were deeply connected for over a century. The South Newfane Schoolhouse became the home of the South Newfane Community Association in 1956. While the store became abandoned in the 2010s, it remained an important part of our community history. Since the store closure, the schoolhouse has taken up the role as village gathering spot with events and activities attracting neighbors and friends throughout Newfane and beyond. It is the wish of the South Newfane Community Association to continue to honor the history of community in the South Newfane General Store by preserving and presenting one of its signs at the schoolhouse where it will be enjoyed mere feet from its original location for generations to come. If we may express a preference for one of the signs, it would be the sign with the South Newfane green lettering. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Maya Segura, on behalf of the South Newfane Community Association Board of Trustees.
Thank you so much, Anne, for having that readily available.
Yep.
So there are two signs, and my thought, if we vote on it, that particular one, since they indicated which their preference was, goes there, and the other one goes to the Historical Society of Wyndham County.
That's fair.
Shall we do a motion or do you have something else you want to say first?
Well, no, I just wanted to, she's talking about the sign that was up on the side of the building, the house building?
The long
one?
one, which I think is 6 feet.
Great, that works beautifully, because that's the newer sign, and the
The
older
historical
sign will
sign
get the
goes-
historical one.
Is there a motion?
I'm going to abstain since I'm on the board of the community association.
That's fine. Would anybody like to make a motion that the Historical Society of Wyndham County gets the older sign and the South Newfane, what is South Newfane?
Community association.
Community Association gets the longer, newer sign? Anyone?
I make a motion.
Second?
I still would propose that one of those signs goes in the office, the town office, but
Well, the town
I don't
office does not make a request.
Well,
yeah,
since we
that's
are the
all right.
representatives of the town office.
I know. They'll be well taken care of in both places, and I think it's important to spread the historical value of our town in places.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we got a lot of big bare walls in that town office. Is it going to be prominent at the Historical Society, or is it going to be?
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
He said he was going to have a wall of all of these.
yeah,
He does a very good job at displaying
As much as
as
possible.
much in such small spaces.
yeah. That's fine. I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? I would say that if there was a time where either organization decided not to have them presented and displayed, that it be brought to the town office. Does
That makes sense.
That's as a,
I would make that as an amendment to the
your motion.
motion.
But why don't we send a letter to both recipients saying, thank you.
Gladly.
And if there's a time when you are not able to publicly display it, please remember that the town would like to be able to display it in the town offices.
Please return to the town office so they
Yeah.
can be properly displayed elsewhere.
Yes.
Juanetta, can you draw up such a letter?
Yes.
Thank you, and send it to us to review before sending out.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 You're abstaining,
Aye.
remember, because you're on the committee.
Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
opposed, abstain.
Me.
Thank you. That's all the correspondence, that's all that we have tonight. I need a motion that Katie and I can go over pay orders and approve.
I make such a motion.
Second,
Second.
thanks for not being here, both of you tonight. We appreciate you.
I
All
would
those
like
in
to
favor
go-
say aye first.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstaining, opposed, ayes have it. Yes, Jeff?
I will not be here on February 3rd, and it sounds like Ann will not either.
Oh, well,
Um,
I'm looking on Mike.
So if somebody gets in touch with Mike, make sure he knows he's quorum.
Juanetta can make sure that she tells him.
Okay, great.
Well, I hope you both have safe travels. We appreciate you being here on Zoom tonight, and I would like to thank everyone that has been here for this meeting and still here. And I would also like to special thank you to Austin, Bryce from BCTV, who is our amazing videographer. So everybody stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you in February.